You know, I gotta be honest with you guys here. I've never really cared about Sonic.exe. Now, I have interacted with some of this media around him. I never called myself an actual fan of Sonic.exe. Now, I am a really, really big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, but his spooky, blood-eyed bastard cousin, I don't know about that. Something was just always a little off-putting about him. But since the time of spooky is around the corner, I think there's no time better than ever to cover this stupid bloody-eyed bitch.
Shine lollipops and rainbows.
Quick history lesson for you out there who don't know. The current iteration of Sonic.exe is not the same as the original. The current one is known as X, or 2011X, while the one that most people know of is Sonic.exe, the original, made by JC the Hyena. Now, the original story is really similar to the new version, but there are slight differences. I'm going to cover the new version because I don't feel like covering the old version because,
I love little girls.
Now, I actually lied again because most people actually know this guy from the original Sonic.exe fan game by Miss Crimson. Gee, I wonder why.
Har, 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 har. Okay, game created by Crimson the Bat 2012. Holy hell, man. What's wrong with you?
Now, if this guy is saying you're insane, that's when you truly know you've gone off the deep end. If you haven't read the story by Joe Doughboy, which is the official canon one as of now, I'll give you a brief explanation of what it entails. The story starts by a guy getting the game uploaded to his computer, and X decides to start haunting this guy. The guy, just driven to madness, decides to upload the game to GameJolt, hoping that it'll stop being haunted, but then is implied to be killed by X, who takes his account to find more victims. The victims happen to be a guy named Alan, Dave, and Paul respectively, turn into Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Eggman. Then X finds us, the main character, and we decide to play the game. Because, you know, we're a big Sonic fan or something, I don't know. Then he decides to kill all three of his previous victims inside the game to show us, you know, this game is not some normal Sonic game. And then, once he kills all of them, he decides to kill us, which, that's kind of evil of him to do, that's kind of rude. And, then X is implied to, you know, find more victims. I personally think this story is okay. It's way better than the original, by far, but, you know, still contains some of the cliches that the original story has, but, you know, they're really making the best of a already garbage story, so what else can you do? But this original story lays down the concrete for the foundation of many, many other Sonic horror ideas that could be used in the future, which I gotta commend it for. And one of those really interesting takes in the story is the story I'm going to talk about next.
The hedgehog's right outside my window!
Now this story is a bit interesting because instead of what if Sonic was bad, it's what if Eggman was bad? Dear God. This story takes place in an alternate timeline to the Joe Doughboy one, where instead of getting killed at the end of the story, Eggman is possessed by a spirit named Bandato, and Paul is just fucking thrown to the wayside or something. I don't know what happened to him. Bandato later goes to overthrow X, which he's successful in, and for years and years, Bandato just humiliates and defeats X over and over again. He also takes over X's game and claims it as his own, and basically just goes to do what X was doing before him, claiming souls and torturing victims. X, now known as Lord Mortis, becomes more mature and decides to help the souls rather than torture them for all of time. He decides to help a notable soul, Tom, in the vessel of Sonic to go defeat Bandato. This is a really intriguing story idea. X being like an ally to you is very interesting, and I can't wait to see where the story goes in the future. Bandato as a design is pretty cool, and I quite enjoy it. Lord Mortis is he's okay, I guess. I don't know. He's gross looking, but that's the point. But you know, I do really like Bandato though. He's really cool. Anyway, on to the next one again.
Can you feel the sunshine?
Alright, now I want to take some time to talk about the so-called official EXEs. I'm only calling them that because, they appear in an actual Sonic game, but they're not really EXEs. They more or less just are spooky Sonic oddities that appeared in the series at one point, and oh dear God.
I want that in my mouth.
First up is Majin. Majin is really easy to comprehend. He's simply just an Easter egg in the GOAT Sonic CD. No, I will not be elaborating. If you access the sound test menu, you can punch in a couple codes and get secret images, my personal favorite being this one. One image lives in more infamy than the others, one stands out from the rest. By punching in a certain code, you'll get this message displayed on your screen. Now, the text reads as follows. Fun is infinite with Sega Enterprises. Majin. Majin means the devil in Japanese. Someone could interpret this as quite scary on a passing glance, but if you know the whole context behind the image, it's not scary at all. This is Masato Nishimura, a man who worked on Sonic the Hedgehog CD. The screen I just showed you was made by him. The Sonics in the image are supposed to be a replication of his face, and not some devilish mask. The Majin part is actually Mazin, Nishimura's childhood nickname. Also, if you play with the Japanese soundtrack of the game, like I did, the objectively superior soundtrack, you get the original intended feel of the screen. So yeah, Majin was not supposed to be scary at all. He was just supposed to be a little Easter egg that got butchered by the US soundtrack. To be honest, this one's more scary than Majin could ever be. And now we come to our little yellow friend, Tailstall. This guy's not scary, he's cute.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Tailstall is the second of the unlockable characters in Sonic R. Unlike Metal Sonic, Knuckles, and Egg Robo, he's not a metal doppelganger, of course. He's a weird, creepy plush that can float over water. He's not quite special, just being like any of the other Eggman creations in this game. Basically just trying to go after the Chaos Emeralds before Sonic can. Which, he's unsuccessful in, because you kind of can't lose this game. It's a stupid little racing game. I'm sorry, Sonic R, I love you. But he didn't make much impact on the series. He only appeared in this game for a while. And if you were scared of this guy, I wouldn't understand why. He's not really scary. I mean, his little ghostly powers might be a little off-putting, but he only became really one of the spooky Sonic characters after a notable creepypasta was released in the 2000s. The creepypasta known as Tailstall Curse is, it's just your run-of-the-mill creepypasta. A dad plays his kid's copy of Sonic R, and then Tailstall, he's gonna take him and make him his servant for all of time. But that part wasn't really off-putting. It was more or less the image associated with it. I'll just pull it up real quick. I low-key just pissed myself, guys. And with that, Tailstall became another one of the horror Sonic characters, being just as well known as Sonic.exe himself. He also appeared in the Archie Sonic comics where he's what the hell is this? And he also went on to appear in Sonic Superstars, bringing him back into the spotlight to this day. He'll go down as one of the most interesting aspects of the Sonic series, for better or for worse. Alright, I'm gonna get this out of the way. There are way better videos that can describe the story of this ROM hack. Way better than I can. Trust me, these are really good videos. But I'm going to try to summarize the story for you guys real quick. The ROM hack was mysteriously uploaded one day by an account called Greenmount Sonic. And opening up, it just kicks you into the first level, and by extension the only level. You play as a Sonic in this weird colored green hill zone with his eyes closed, climbing up what is called Green Mountain. Once you make it to the top, a dark Sonic with no face is awaiting you. It does nothing for a moment, and you're just left to wonder why it's there. It begins to attack, and it seems to be a boss fight. You have to hit him a couple times before he eventually gives up. He can't damage you. You can't lose this pretty much. When you do eventually hit him enough times, he'll try to escape. You hit him one more time to put him out of his misery, and he melts into black on the ground, and you're just left to stand there alone. Little by little, the world around you begins to fade to black. You can do nothing to stop this, and you begin to look more and more like the Sonic you just took out. Almost like the cycle repeats, where a new Sonic will arrive soon to take you out as well. It seems to be some kind of purgatory, but for who? In the files, you can find messages what seems to be between two different people. They're talking about bringing a shovel, walking up a trail, and Green Mountain's not far. They seem to be burying something, whether that's a person or an animal or something else could be deciphered by the viewer. The image associated with this is also a piece in the puzzle. I think this image is terrifying. I can't tell what that is. It could be a corpse, it could be a bush, it could be nothing. I could just be crazy. Yeah, that's probably it. But this image is just so unnerving. I feel like I'm being watched. But by what or who? The thing in the front? Do we even know that's a sentient being? There's so many questions. This image gives you so many questions, and you can't answer any of them. And that is what makes this image horrifying. I think End himself is just a really good design. It's just Sonic with no face, but he's just so intriguing. This color palette just speaks to me. He looks like a creature that's suffering, and that is what I want to see. What? That makes it sound. What I'm trying to say is he reflects on the story that's trying to be told. I think he's a good design for this story, which yeah, I can't say about all of these. Anyway, let's talk about the red fuck now.
We're just about to consume this delicious banana.
I'm saving the best for last because Starved Eggman is so freaking cool. He's also really funny for some reason. Like, the idea of Eggman out of desperation eating a Flicky and then becoming red and losing all his hair due to disease is very morbid but funny. Then Eggman gets like a taste for Flickies and Mobians by extension, so he builds a robot to cook them for him because he's a fat lazy bastard. And this is what leads to the creation of Furnace.
I will fuck the shit out of that robot, man. I'm not even...
This inevitably leads to a confrontation between Sonic and Furnace. Furnace manages to gain the upper hand and actually defeats Sonic.
You really like scrambling your own plans, don't you?
Yo, shout out to the guy who made a 35-minute long movie about Starved. You guys should go watch it. It's freaking peak. I just really love Furnace's design. It's so cool. It's Mecha Sonic Mark II, but if he was on fire. You can't get cooler than that. You just can't. If you like got rid of the whole cooking animals part, this guy could be like a real Sonic character. Please, Sega, please make something like it. Thanks, Sega. So what did we learn here today? Fan-made Sonic horror media is a creative but extremely mixed bag. All these had good ideas behind them. Not all of them were scary, but, you know, at least they tried. They're really cool, though. I wanted to look at something, you know, horror-related, because, you know, it's October. It's a spooky month. Woo! Anyway, I hope you guys have a good Halloween. I hope you get a lot of candy, and, oh, jump scare. Also, thank you for 150 subscribers.
Inside your mind,
Any Stalls just Bargain Ben Chessington. Here's my Bruno Finer. Bye!